He doesn't play, man. Echo. Anybody want to go get it? They can clap back. And I love the fight. Salute them boys ain't running from the cop car like a monster to a monster. Feeling like I'm on fire. You can't put me out. You can try to take my fire, man, but you can't put me out now. My dude, and you can't put me out now. If you're coming for me, take a different route now. You can't put me out now. Woo! Hey! What up? What up? It's Friday. Week's over. Who's ready for the weekend? I am. It's Valentine's Day. Salute them boys ain't running from the cop car. Music like a rock star. Y'all about to turn me to a monster. Feeling like I'm on fire. You can't put me up. You can try to call the fireman, but you can't put me out. Now I'm on fire. Forgot my dude, and you can't put me out now. If you're coming for me, take a different route now. You can't put me out now. Running from the cop car. What are you doing, Echo? You all up in my grill, bro. Echo's wanting some pets. So ready for the weekend. Me too. Me too. And guess what? I got the new Switch controller. I got the drivers re-downloaded for the Elgato because it was giving me some problems. I thought it was the Elgato that was giving me the problems with StreamYard. When I tried to go on people's StreamYards, I thought the Elgato was taking over the camera, but I had to fix some settings and I figured it out. So I had uninstalled the drivers for the Elgato because I thought it was the problem and it wasn't. So I got the drivers back, tested it before I started this stream. So tonight we can play some Mario after VK while I talk on the Discord. Speed runs, viewer levels. When we do Mario viewer levels, we get a lot of new people in here. Sometimes it's young kids, though. So we gotta, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like not putting viewer level in the title because when you do viewer levels, you get a bunch of little kids coming in, giving you their levels to play. And if we're talking about mess, which isn't a problem unless people like certain people join in. And then I don't want the kids around. I don't know. I'm kind of in a conundrum where it's like we're doing Bible studies. I got a flag that says Jesus is my Savior behind me. And then I do these late night panels, these fight nights, and I just let anybody come on. And sometimes the conversations are really good, productive, but then sometimes it devolves into mess with Jalen and Freddie. Sometimes Cat, sometimes Cat, not always. Sometimes she's cool, sometimes she's a mess. Now we got Mel joining in to the mix. It gets messy. I don't know. Part of me's like, I shouldn't be doing that. But then part of me's like, I got to meet people where they are. You know? I don't know. It's a conundrum. Part of me is like, I want it to be entertaining and I like arguing with people and I need different people of different views and different worldviews and stuff to come in and so we can have the conversation. Then part of me is like, nah, I shouldn't even play with these people. Like, at least not live for the whole world to see. I don't know. I think it's all right. I think it's all right. But anyway, we'll keep it clean for the kids. Yeah, if I do viewer levels, if I do Mario viewer levels, then I gotta tell people, hey, there's gonna be kids jumping in because if you put in your title Super Mario Maker, like I have a thumbnail, a Mario Maker thumbnail. If you put in your title Super Mario Maker viewer levels, and this is for if anybody's doing Twitch, like James, if you're doing Twitch, if you want to jump up your Twitch views and I had 250 subscribers in a week on Twitch. I was averaging 20 viewers within a week just doing Mario Maker viewer levels. You get a lot of interaction because people want to see you play their levels. They make levels. It's Mario Maker, so you can make your own levels. They make levels, and they like to see streamers play their levels. So you get a lot of viewers and a lot of new people constantly coming in. I think a lot of them are grown men, but some of them are kids. You'll see when I do a Mario Maker stream, you'll see. There's a line to draw at times though. Yeah, I agree. I got to start busting out my mute hammer more. I think we're going to start doing super chats for mutes. If you want to mute somebody, cuz the problem is I can't, like I have a rule, if I kick you out of the chat but you're still in the Discord, I don't want you to jump back into the chat, and a lot of people will do that. So instead what I could do is I could just mute them and turn their video off and they can sit in there and listen. So something like $10 for a 5-minute mute and $1 to add on extra minutes or something like that. I don't know. $5 for 5-minute mute or $1 per minute, $5 minimum. Yeah, I think that sounds good. So you want to mute Mel or Jalen or Kat for 20 minutes? $20. Let's go. All right. Yesterday we ended with Moses going back up onto Mount Sinai. We've already got the commandments. We've gone through the laws. There's going to be more laws. There's going to be a lot more laws. The end of Exodus, all of Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. Leviticus is the laws. Deuteronomy is the second law. This next, many men have been lost on the shores of Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy when they're trying to do a Bible read through. They make it through Genesis and Exodus. You get into Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. It's a slow trudge. So once we get to those parts, I might just start reading very quickly. And then we'll just do a little bit of talking about it beforehand, read real fast, read through it, and then talk about everything we read afterwards so that we can get through that slow trudge of Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy quickly. But there are stories throughout there. There are some interesting stories throughout there. And then but then we get into Joshua, which is one of my favorite books. Great name, great guy. Joshua is epic. Judges, First Kings, Second Kings, First and Second Samuel. Some good stuff in there. But for now, let's get to the Moses is up on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. He's being given the instructions to build the Ark of the Covenant, also known as the Ark of the Testimony, and instructions for how to build the temple. So this is Exodus 25, and we're going to roll right on into it. Let's go. Chapter 25. And who are you, Dean, to say there's a line to draw? You cross that line in the chat sometimes, my boy. Sometimes you be crossing that line. All right. And the Lord spake unto Moses. Okay, it's the last verse of yesterday. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and gat him up into the mountain. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. So now the Lord is speaking to Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart. Ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins, and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet scents, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half of breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. A cubit is about 1.5 feet, I think. We've looked this up a bunch of times. I'm not going to look it up again. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. If I remember correctly, it's about 1.5 feet, but it might be 3 feet. I could be wrong about that. Somebody look it up. A cubit. I think it's the length of your arm. That's how they used to measure things. And that's how we measure things in America. You know what an acre is? An acre is how much land an ox can plow in one day. That's how we get the measurement of what an acre is. A bushel, a peck, a pinch. These are all realistic measuring, instead of this commie measuring system of dang kilometers and stuff like that. Don't make no sense. Okay. Sorry, I'll be in and out. I'm at work. No problem, man. No problem, man. All right. So he's telling him the measurements of the Ark of the Covenant. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without shalt thou overlay it, and shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof, and 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. Now, this stuff right here leads people, a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff are, there's a lot of conspiracy theories revolving around gold. There's gold in the tops of the pyramids. We put gold rings on our fingers. There's gold rings in the Arks of the Covenant. People like to talk about like the, is it the Anunnaki? Or the Anunnaki, the aliens, that they like use these gold for like, they can like monitor the gold, and it's like trackers for people and stuff. I think all that stuff's it's interesting, but I don't think so. I'm not with it. I'm not with it, because we're gonna see when we do the when they make the calf out of gold, the Moses actually makes them drink the gold. They turn the gold into powder, and he makes them to drink it. So a lot of conspiracy theory people say that this points towards like Anunnaki and gold and stuff like that. There's something with the gold. I didn't know that. It's from elbow to tip of the bird finger. That's what a cubit is? Yeah, see? I was right. Ha ha! Told y'all I know what I'm talking about. Don't ever question me. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. So the rings on each side, 2 rings on each side, and then you slide a rod through the rings. That way men can carry it by the rods because they can't touch the ark. And there's actually once we get to it, we're going to see some people get struck down for touching the ark, and I'll explain a couple of reasons why that may have happened. Because people would say, why would God strike them dead for touching the ark? And I'll give you a little analysis of that when we get to it. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them, or carried with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold. Those are the little angels. Of beaten work shalt thou make them, in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings. And their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. Mercy seat, I'm guessing, is a throne. The images I've seen of the mercy seat Bible mercy seat. Oh, it's just the lid. So the mercy seat is the lid on the top, and the cherubims are covering their faces with their wings, but they're looking at each other, but they're covering their faces with the wings pointed towards each other. So this is a depiction based off of what the Bible's explaining here of what the Ark of the Covenant probably looked like. Let me show you real quick. And I did a stream. I did the 9 biblical angels depictions video a long time ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. If you watch that video, I go through the cherubims and the now I can't think of any of the names of them. The orphans, the cherubims, the guardian angels, the archangels. What else? Seraphim, and the hierarchy and the different levels. I went through all that stuff a couple years ago, and then I made it into I did it on a stream, but I made it into a video. I need to go back and remake some of my old, because I just do streams and I talk about stuff in the last segment of the stream, and then I would screen record it and then edit it up a little bit and then make it into a video. Instead, I need to like go back and remake those where it's like I have a script written and I have stuff, music and stuff, and like a little bit more production value, and make like a real video out of it. But I just don't have time. I don't have time, guys. I work full time. But this is an image of what the Ark of the Covenant would look like. So these are the cherubim, the golden rods, something like this. Okay. Let's get back to it. And thou shalt overlay it and shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast four. I've already read all that. I'm way past that. Mercy seat is the lid. Cherubims, faces of the cherubim, looking towards one another. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony. I already read that. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be in length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt make unto it a border of an hand breadth round about. And thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And thou shalt make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Round about. And thou over against the border shall the rings be for the places of the staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof to cover withal. Of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set upon the table showbread before me alway. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the candlestick be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. And this is where we get the menorah, the Jewish menorah that they light, the candlesticks with the branches going off. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knop and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knop and a flower. So in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knops and their flowers. And there shall be a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the candlestick. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same. All it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongs thereof and snuff dishes thereof shall be of pure gold. The snuff dishes is the things that they used to put the candle out, the little cover on the stick. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels. And look that thou make them after their pattern, which was showed thee in the mount. Chapter 26. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work shalt thou make them. The length of one curtain shall be 28 cubits, the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage in the coupling. And likewise shalt thou make in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops shalt thou make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shalt thou make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one to another. And thou shalt make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches, and it shall be one tabernacle. And thou shalt make curtains of goat's hair to be covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shalt thou make. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. And the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. So all the same size. They're making a roof, and they're making the walls out of these curtains. Think of like a shower curtain with the rings. And the rings and the taches are the what do you call it? I can't think of the word, but that you use. There's a word for those rings that you clip in, and you have a ring, and then you have another ring go through that. They call that attach. The tatches. And thou shalt couple 5 curtains by themselves and 6 curtains by themselves, and shalt double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make 50 loops on the edge of one curtain that is outmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And thou shalt make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle. And a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent, it shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering above of badger skins. And thou shalt make boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order one against another. Thus shalt thou make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make the boards for the tabernacle 20 boards on the south side, southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side there shall be 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward thou shalt make 6 boards, and 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle and the 2 sides. It's crazy to me that people think that this is like a metaphor. This is not a metaphor. Like, you can tell when you're reading the Bible what is what if you know how to read the Bible and you look at when it was written, who wrote it, what style of writing they were using. You can tell the difference between Psalms, which is obviously metaphor and poetry and songs. You can tell Proverbs is a book of wisdom. It's a bunch of little sayings, a bunch of little quotes that are words of wisdom. You can tell that the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, is testimony from eyewitnesses telling what they saw. You can tell that the story of Samson is a narrative of a story that happened. You can tell that Job starts with poetry, or it starts with narrative and it ends with narrative, but the whole middle chunk is poetry. Because, of course, whoever wrote Job couldn't have possibly been in heaven watching God and the devil talk, right? So you can tell when you read Leviticus, this is like a law book. This is a book of laws. You can tell when you're reading this is basically an instruction manual for how to build the tabernacle. Like, this is not a metaphor. This is not a big metaphor. This is basically just an instruction manual for how to build the tabernacle. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards and their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the boards shall reach from end to end. And thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars, and thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was showed thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of cunning work. With cherubims shall it be made. And thou shalt hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver. Now, this seems to contradict something that I said the other day about how churches shouldn't be like these gaudy places with, even though I think there's a practical reason for it. because it's fine art and it's artistic and it's beautiful and it draws people in when you have all these sculptures and these paintings and stuff inside your church. But I said basically a lot of that seems gaudy and I'm not sure if that's a good thing. And this seems to contradict that because God's giving them instructions of how to make this temple, but it doesn't actually contradict what I said, because this is not a place for just anybody to come and a pastor to get, or a priest to get on a stage and do a sermon and do, all these things. This is God's home. Only very, very, this is like God is in this place. Not like how the Holy Spirit is in us and we go to church and we worship with our congregation. It's not like that. This is God lives in this place, or God comes down and talks to people in this place, gives them instruction. And once Jesus comes, that's not the case anymore. Now his voice is a voiceless voice of revelation, and he doesn't talk to us like that anymore. He doesn't come into the temple and give instructions to the high priest anymore. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe that's something that certain, denominations, maybe they would disagree with me on that, and maybe I could be wrong on that. It's just my thoughts on it. I'm with you on that. Yeah, it's super specific down to the type of woods and skins. Yeah. Yep. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the taches, that thou mayest bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And thou shalt, and see, there's like levels. So certain people could go into the holy place, and then, but only other certain people, it was like a hierarchy, could go into the most holy. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. My pages are stuck together. It's good that I'm reading through this Bible, because one day, the plan, guys, is one day I'm going to attempt to break the Guinness World Record of speed reading the Bible. The world record is currently 75 hours, but it was a whole church that did it. So people got up on stage one at a time and they would read until they got tired, and then the next person would step in and read. And I think there should be a separate, and they broke the previous record, which was like 83 hours by one man. One guy did it in 83 hours. Then a church broke that record in 75 hours, which I don't think is fair. There should be a separate record for group reading versus solo reading, but there's not. But I watched a video of I played it on the stream. We talked about this on the stream before. I watched a video of that church doing it, and I can read a lot faster than those people. Like, I can read way faster. And not trying to be mean, but it was in like Kentucky or something, and that some of them weren't the best readers. Let's just say that. So I know I could beat the record, and I would do it on a live stream. And if you're doing it alone, you get 1 hour break every 4 hours. So I would prepare for like a week. I would take like a week off work. And for the days leading up, I would only sleep an hour every 4 hours to get accustomed to it. Because somebody tried to break the record, and he made it like 65 hours in, and then he fell asleep. He nodded out and he fell asleep while he was reading before his break. And so he lost. But if I prepared for it and I had somebody else here with me to bring me coffee and espresso and make me food, and whenever I'm sleeping or taking my breaks to read the chats and stuff, I think I could crush that record. Where was I at? Pillars. Where was I? Oh, it's going to be so hard to find where I was. I thought I was using my thumb to mark it. Thou shalt set the table without the veil and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south, and thou shalt put the table on the north side. Oh, the whole reason I was saying this is because my pages stick together. So if I read through it, it'll loosen the pages up so that when I speed read it, my pages don't stick together. Also, this gets me used to all the weird names so I can read the names faster. Yeah, speed reading the Bible. You get $10,000 for winning a Guinness World Record. And the stream, I'm sure at some point it would probably pop off. Like, I'm in Salt Lake City, so if I got people to contact the local news networks and stuff, I think we could make it go viral. It would definitely be. The reason I thought of this is because Mr. Beast blew up because he did a stream where he just counted for like 30 hours. He just counted. I don't know how long he did it, but he just counted and counted and counted. And I was like, what's something like that I could do that actually has like some meaning? And what's better than speed reading the Bible? It's good on every front. Like, it would get me viewers, subscribers, super chats. If I win the Guinness World Record, it gets me $10,000 in a Guinness World Record. And it's actually like, doing something positive, is reading the Bible to people. So people could come and just listen. So it's good monetarily, good for clout, and it's better than just counting. Like, I could just sit here and count, but why would I do that when I could do something that at least, is useful? Anyway, toward this, and thou shalt set the table with the veil and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south, and thou shalt put the table on the north side, and thou shalt make a hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold, and thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Like, let's just try this real quick. So that chapter I just read, I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to read a column real quick. All right, try to do this fast. And 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle and the 2 sides, and they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto the one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners, and they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards, and 1 with the side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side in the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the board shall reach from end to end, and thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for bars, and thou shalt overlay with bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was showed to thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of cunning work, with cherubim shall it be made, and thou shalt hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver, and thou shalt hang up the veil under the taches which thou mayest bring in thither within the veil. And the ark of the testimony and the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony and the most holy places. And thou shalt set the table without the veil and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And thou shalt put the table on the north side. And thou shalt make a hanging. See, so I wouldn't read it like that, though. If I was doing a speed reading challenge, I would have to slow down to make sure I don't make mistakes. But I could do it pretty quick, I think. I think I could do it in under 75 hours. All right. Where are we at? We're at chapter 27. It's going to be like this for a bit, so I am going to read kind of quick. And thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad, and the altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans, all the vessels thereof, thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make for it a grate of network of brass, and upon the net shalt thou make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. And thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And thou shalt make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with boards shalt thou make it, as it was showed to thee in the mount. So shall they make it. And thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle for the south side southward. There shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen. Here we go. We got more, because now there's a courtyard, and we're gonna find out how to make the courtyard. Fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side, and the 20 pillars thereof, and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side, and the length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and his 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets or fillets? Fillets. Looks like it says fillets. There's 2 L's. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side eastward shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be an hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, and their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere, and the height 50 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring the pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In the tabernacle of the congregation, without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations on the behalf of the children of Israel. So only Aaron and his sons are allowed to go into the court. Chapter 28. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nabab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. So now they're talking about the garments or the raiments for the priests. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre and a girdle, a mitre and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work. I want to look something up real quick. In the Strong, I want to see what an ephod is. Oh my God, my arms are sore. Ah! Ephod. A, B, C, D, E. I think it's like a signet. I-slave. LMNOP. Ephod. Ephraimite. quality Ephratite Ephron. It's EPHOD. I'm gonna go back a page. Ephod, Ephod and Exodus. Looks like all of them are 646. Yeah, 646. 646, 646 in the Hebrew. 648, 642, 646. Aphod, I'm saying it wrong. Aphod, well, in Hebrew, it's pronounced aphod or aphode, aphode, or iphode. AY-FODE with a line. So aphode, rarely, or aphode, probably for a girdle. High priest shoulder piece image. Ephod is transliterated as ephod. This word represents a close-fitting outer garment associated with worship. It was a kind of long vest, generally reaching to the thighs. The ephod of the high priest was fastened with a beautifully woven girdle. Over the chest of the high priest was the breastplate, also containing 12 stones engraved with tribal names. Rings attached to it, to the ephod. So it's a... Is that mic with the mini USB plug-in? It's got both. I don't have a what's it called? An MXL. Is it MXL? I have an interface. I bought an interface, but I got to get the cord. But yeah, it has USB, but it also has input for a if you ever break the plug-in for that mic, get a Manocaster G01 and XLR. This has XLR. That's what I was trying to think of. Not MXL. MXL is a brand. I'm gonna do an XLR in this. I just got to get a cord. Didn't I order one? I put one in my shopping cart on Amazon. I haven't ordered it yet. Oh, I forgot I needed to do that. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I have a XLR cord in my Amazon shopping cart. I just got to order it. And I have an interface. I have a nice interface. The problem is when you use XLR with this mic, you see this? This is the Motive Mix program for this mic, and I can do stuff like, is it here? No, it's not here. It's right here. I can do stuff like this. Input. Hello. Am I reverberating now? Is it on? Is it reverbing? Am I reverbing? I don't know if it's working because I'm not monitoring it. I don't have my headphones on. But it's supposed to be reverbing. But anyway. Yeah, now you in a hall. Yeah. But if I do XLR, you can't do all this. So it's kind of cooler to use the USB. But I do, eventually I'm going to get a guitar and a keyboard to hook up to this. Well, first I'm going to get a MIDI keyboard because I have Fruity Loops. So I can hook a keyboard and hook the mic up to the interface and I can make some music again. It's been a while. It's been a while since I made some music. And thank you for the super chat. Let's go. I don't even ask for super chats in these Bible study streams because, you know, I'm not trying to grift off the Bible. But thank you. I appreciate it. It's going towards the new computer fund. I'm not going to do a grift right now, but in my other streams, I make it known that all the super chats are going towards the new computer fund. We're going to get a nice computer. A very nice computer. Only the best stuff. Except not a 590. I'm going to try to get a 490, but they're pretty expensive still. Pay it forward for Bible reason. Nice. They're saying the 590 is not even that the Nvidia 590 graphics card's not even that much better than the 490. And so the 490 price hasn't even gone down that much. It's still like very expensive. So I might get like a 470. I don't know if I can justify spending that much on a 590. But I pretty much have the money right now for the whole computer except for the processor and the graphics card. Those are the two expensive parts. But I could buy everything I need right now except for the processor and the graphics card. Where was I? Let's get back to this. We read about we're on Aaron's sons. We're talking about basically garments for the priests and who gets to go into the tabernacle. We were reading about the ephod. Yeah. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work. It shall have the two... Bro, what is up with my light? I need a new light bulb. I hate changing these lights. It's so annoying to change these light bulbs because you have to... It's the glass dome thing, and you got to like twist the glass dome, and they're old, so they get stuck, and then the whole thing starts twisting, and the wires get messed up. My light in my room doesn't work because of that. I have to take the whole thing apart and redo all the wiring, and I don't feel like doing it. There's going to get drywall all over my bed. It's a mess. So now my room is just dark all the time. Dude, if you're building one, please do videos. I've been spending time on reading about building one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy all the pieces once I have a little more, because I also don't want to spend all my savings on the computer. I want to make sure that I have enough for the computer and enough to keep a good chunk in my savings before I start. And I'm going to buy all the pieces. Once I have all the pieces, I'm going to do a stream, and I'm going to put it together on stream. I'm going to get a couple computer guys in here to and have some videos and guide me along as I do it. I think I'll be fine. But it's been like I built a computer like 20 years ago. And it's not the same. It's not like it was back then. But it should be all right. Okay, where are we? Shall have two shoulder pieces, joined thereof, joined at the two edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together. And the curious girdle of the ephod which is upon it shall be of the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones and grave on them the names of the children of Israel, 6 of their names on one stone, and the other 6 names of the rest on the other stone, according to their birth, with the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet. Shalt thou engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be set in the ouches of gold. And thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of what this, of what Aaron's garment, because it sounds pretty fantastic. Aaron's priest garments. Description of Aaron's priestly garments. Okay. Okay, here we go. Something like this. So it says, a plate of pure gold. First row shall be carnelian. We're about to get to this part. We're about to get to it right now, actually. So right now we're talking about the shoulder plates. These are the onyx stones on the shoulders with the names of the sons of Israel engraved onto them in gold. This outer thing is the ephod or the ephod, or in Hebrew, the ephode. This is the ephode or the ephod. These are the onyx shoulder plates. This is the breastplate, which we haven't got to yet. We're about to read about it here in a second. Make the ephod of gold, blue, purple, scarlet yarn, and a finely twisted linen, the work of skilled hands. This is the ephod. Underneath is the robe. Barefoot as he was standing on holy ground. So no shoes. This is what it looks like. And then let me find a picture of the temple. Exodus tabernacle images. Yeah, I've seen this before. I think I may have shown this before in a stream. Okay, so this is what the tabernacle would look like. So this is the courtyard. Remember the pillars, 20 pillars on the I forget the directions, but 20 pillars on this side, 20 pillars on this side, 10 pillars on the two smaller sides. This is the courtyard. And then this is the outer area is the holy. And then the innermost area, which we can't see, is the most holy, which is where the Ark of the Covenant would be put. So here's the Ark. Here's the tabernacle. And here is the priestly garments. So this is all the stuff that we're reading about, how to make all of these things. And this is not, like, this is obviously not a metaphor. So there's no, like, you don't have to do any, what's the word? Starts with a H. Hermeneutics. You don't got to do any hermeneutics or, there's not a lot of interpretation needs to be done here. This is an instruction book of how to make all this stuff, and we have pictures of it, of what it would look like. You don't have to, hey, shout out. 5 get the memberships. Hoosier Hippie Denise, I have no idea who that is. Crisp, I have no idea who that is. James Gilmore, no idea who that is. Truncated Visuals, no idea who that is. Wicked Wally, I think I know that guy. Do I know that guy? I think I know that guy. But all these other people, you guys got memberships, and you're probably not even going to know that you have memberships unless you come into a chat or something. Maybe they watch my shorts. Maybe they subscribed to me a long time ago. Maybe they watch my videos. I don't know. But I haven't seen them. James Gilmore sounds familiar. Might have seen him before. Wicked Wally, this guy, I'm not sure about that guy. You remember James Gilmore from years ago? I think I do too, Dean. Yeah, I think that was a long time ago. He was in the chat. But shout out. Thank you for the memberships. Let's go. Okay. Where are we at? We started at chapter 25. I got to at least get to 30. James is around sometimes? Okay. Yeah, that one looks familiar. Wally. Who's this Wally guy? Okay, we are on the 6 names. Thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Israel, and Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And thou shalt make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends of wreathen work shalt thou make them, and fasten the wreath chains to the ouches. And thou shalt make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. That's the thing with the different stones in it. After the work of the ephod thou shalt make it. Of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen shalt thou make it. 4 square it shall be, being doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And I think a span is the length of your from wrist to fingertip. I think that's what a span is. So a cubit is from your elbow to the tip of your finger, and I think a span is from your wrist to the tip of your finger. Span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And thou shalt set in it settings of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, an agate. Is it agate or agate? I think it's an agate. And an amethyst. In the fourth row, a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold in their enclosings. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one with his name shall be according to the 12 tribes. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate chains at the ends of wreathen work of pure gold. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold, and shalt put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And thou shalt put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate, and the other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains thou shalt fasten in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And thou shalt make 2 rings of gold, and thou shalt put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate, and the border thereof, which is in the side of the ephod inward. And 2 other rings of gold shalt thou make, and shalt put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the forepart thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. And they shall bind the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it may be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart when he goeth in unto the holy place, for a memorial before the Lord continually. And thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. Urim and Thummim. Why have I heard of this before? I know I've heard. What is this? Urim and Thummim. Oh, I know I've heard of this because Joseph Smith talks about it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Joseph Smith said, see, I know about this because I have the Mormons over sometimes and I like to talk to them and kind of slightly debate with them, try to plant some seeds that the Book of Mormon is kind of a mess. So the reason Urim and Thummim was popping into my head is because that's what Joseph Smith said he used to translate the he says Moroni left golden tablets in the woods that supposedly weighed 400 pounds, but somehow he carried them through the woods by himself. And then to translate them, he used the Urim and the Thummim, which were these magical stones or crystals that he used to translate it. And I feel like I knew that this was from the Bible, but I forgot. And there it is right there. They're stones that are on the priestly robes of Aaron. So somehow Joseph Smith got a hold of these stones and used them to translate the Book of Mormon from the golden tablets. Crazy. People think I'm Mormon because I know a lot about the Mormons. It's because I live in Salt Lake City and I've read the Book of Mormon and I talk to the missionaries. Doesn't mean I know a lot about Muslims too. I've read most of the Quran and doesn't mean I'm Muslim. That's crazy. What up, Sweater? What up, Chris? Crook. So, so Joseph Smith stole the Urim and the Thummim off of Aaron's garments somehow. Maybe Jesus brought him over when he came to America. That's a joke. I don't believe Jesus came to America. Okay. Thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, Urim and Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually. And thou shalt make the robe of the ephod all of blue. And there shall be an hole in the top of it, in the midst thereof, and it shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, as it were the whole of a habergeon, that it be not rent. Habergeon. I'm just going to Google it because we got to go quick. Can't be here all day. I got to be on VK tonight. I need some sleep. Habergeon. A sleeveless coat of mail or scale armor. Nice. I think I knew that. But I didn't because I forgot it. That it be not rent. So it couldn't be torn. It has so he wears the habergeon over it so that it can't be torn. It's kind of like a chainmail type thing. And beneath upon the hem of it, thou shalt make pomegranates of blue and of purple and of scarlet round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about. So that's let's go back to this. So these are the bells and the pomegranate and the gold and the bells upon the hem of the robe. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So where's the Urim and the Thummim? So these are the holes and the chains that we just read about that hold the breastplate on him. So there's a hole in each corner, and then the chains cross from here over to here, and this one crosses over to here so that this doesn't fall off. And I don't see where this mentions the habergeron. Maybe it's underneath the ephod or the ephod. I'm just going to speak in Hebrew because I know how to pronounce it. It's ephode. But I don't see the habergeron. Habergeron. I don't know how to say these dang words. Okay. Think you're going to wear me in the morning like my skin? I bought a chalice specifically for when I wear my robe. Chalices are awesome. You wear a robe and drink from a chalice? Jesus was in America. Whoa, JS. That's what the Mormons say. The Mormons say Jesus came to America. I don't believe it. I'm just telling you. I did a whole stream uh about the Bible versus the Book of Mormon, and like 2 years ago. It's on the channel. You can find it. I did a whole breakdown of everything wrong in the Book of Mormon and how much is plagiarized from the Bible, and I explained all the problems with the Pearl of Great Price. He said he had translated something that nobody else could translate. And then years later, we found the Rosetta Stone, and we figured out how to translate a lot of ancient texts. And turns out what he said he was translating from to get the Pearl of Great Price was actually an Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's crazy. Which Bible version? This is King James. I wouldn't mind having a lamp. Oh my, Dean. Okay. Okay, we got the bells of gold between them round about. A golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate upon the hem of the robe round about. So they interchange between a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate. And I'm guessing they don't mean the fruit, the pomegranate. This must be a stone, a gemstone. They're not hanging fruits off of his robe. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goeth in unto the holy place before the Lord, and when he cometh out, that he die not. And thou shalt make he die not, like ever? No. And thou shalt make a plate of pure gold, and grave upon it, like the engravings of the signet, holiness to the Lord. And thou shalt put it on a blue lace, that it may be upon the meter, upon the forefront of the meter it shall be. And it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may bear the iniquity of the holy things which the children of Israel shall hallow in all their holy gifts. And it shall be always upon his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord. So now we're talking about this. Make a plate of pure gold and engrave it, seal holy to the Lord. Fasten a blue cord and attach it to the turban. It is to be on the front of the turban. So this is what we're reading about right now. And thou shalt embroider the coat of fine linen, and thou shalt make the meter of fine linen, and thou shalt make the girdle of needlework. And for Aaron's sons thou shalt make coats, and thou shalt make for them girdles, and bonnets shalt thou make for them, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, and shalt anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they come in unto the tabernacle of the congregation, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him and his seed after him. Okay, what it's saying is not saying that Aaron is immortal now. It's saying if you don't wear this stuff, you're going to die if you walk in there, if you walk into the holy. I don't even think they can go into the holy without being fully garmented out. And I don't think anybody can go into the most holy, well, unless it's we're going to find out, but only very specific times can they go into the most holy. My favorite Bible is the Great Adventure Bible. I've never heard of that. What up, David? Then the Ignatius Bible. I don't know that one either. Then the EO Study Bible. I want to get one of those. I'd like to get one of those. I don't have one of those. Chapter 29. I want to get a Thomas Jefferson Bible just so I can compare it to a regular Bible and see what all he took out. I guess he took out all the miracles. Dang deist. Thomas Jefferson. Psh. I'm a James Adams guy myself. Or is it, who's the one who said the Constitution only works for the moral religious people? James Adams? John Adams? John Adams. John Adams. I like John. That's my guy. James Madison. Madison and Adams were the two bosses. They were the most based ones of all the founding fathers. Straight up. Benjamin Franklin was a Rosicrucian. Thomas Jefferson was a deist. Deist? But Adams and Madison, they were based. Definitely look into the Great Adventure Bible. It has a podcast that goes with it to give you ideas. Are you kidding? Is this a troll? I like to look at, yeah, me too. I like to look at all the different versions. Are you trolling me? There's an adventure Bible that has a podcast that goes with it. That's a troll. And this is the thing. Okay, chapter 29. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them to hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest's office. Take one young bullock and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread and cakes, unleavened, tempered with oil, and wafers unleavened, anointed with oil. Of wheaten flour shalt thou make them, and thou shalt put them into one basket, and bring them in the basket with the bullock and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons, And Aaron and his sons thou shalt bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shalt wash them with water. And thou shalt take the garments and put upon Aaron the coat and the robe of the ephod, ephode, and the ephod, and the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the curious girdle of the ephod. And thou shalt put the mitre upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the mitre. The mitre is the turban, I'm guessing. Then shalt thou take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head and anoint him. And thou shalt bring his sons and put coats upon them. And thou shalt gird them with girdles, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them. And the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute. And thou shalt consecrate Aaron and his sons. And thou shalt cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock. And thou shalt kill the bullock before the Lord by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt take of the blood of the bullock, and put it upon the horns of the altar with thy finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And thou shalt take all the fat that covereth the innards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. But the flesh of the bullock, and his skin, and his dung, shalt thou burn with fire without the camp. It is a sin offering. So you got to take that nasty stuff out of here. Not even in the courtyard. Get that stuff out of here. That's a sin offering. Thou shalt also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. And thou shalt slay the ram, and thou shalt take his blood, and sprinkle it round and about the altar. And thou shalt cut the ram in pieces, and wash the inwards of him and his legs, and put them unto his pieces and unto his head. And thou shalt burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto the Lord. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. Then shalt thou kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round and about. Remember, that's a callback to what we read yesterday in Exodus 21 about if a slave wants to stay with his master forever, they pierce his ear through. So this is more symbology of the blood on the ear. They kind of tie together. It's Another reference to the blood on the ear. A mitre is a hat. There are many different kinds. Pope's hat is considered a mitre. Yeah. In the picture here, so it doesn't say turban, but in this picture we were looking at, it says turban. But it doesn't have to be a turban, I guess. And this picture may not necessarily be totally accurate. You know, this is just something I found. So but all of the pictures have turbans. But it doesn't say turban specifically. It says meter. Now, it could be, hold on a second. Where are we at? We're at 19. It could be that the English word meter here may be specifically talking about a turban. Let me see. LM meter, M-I-T-R-E, A-B-C-D-E-F-G-H-I. G L M N O P Q R S T Q R S T meter 4701. All of Exodus and Leviticus uses 4701. 4701. Mitznefeth. Tiara, official turban of a king or high priest, diadem. Okay, so the word they're using here, that in English it says meter, but the actual word used is mitznefeth, which is if it was for a woman, it would be a tiara. But here they're saying, i.e., official turban of a king or high priest. So there could be other times in the Bible that the word meter is used. Actually, it's only used in Exodus, Leviticus, and Zechariah. Exodus and Leviticus, it's all referring to a turban. Zechariah 6797. 6797. Headdress, cloth wrapped around, diadem, hood. Okay, so 4701. So it's mentioned in Leviticus 3 times, and it's mentioned in Exodus 8 times in Exodus and 3 times in Leviticus, and every time it's that tesvapeth or whatever word, and it means a turban. In Zechariah, it means a hood, or I just lost it. But in modern English, the word meter, you're right. Probably, well, I don't know, but I'm guessing you're right. I'm assuming that you are right, that a meter could be any sort of head thing in English, but the Hebrew used in Exodus and Leviticus is talking about a turban. So that's why all these pictures have him wearing a turban, because the word used is of course they didn't use the word meter. They used the word. Am I saying it right, or is it miter? Jupo. I don't know what that means. I think it's pronounced miter. Yeah, you're probably right. I think so too. Miter. I suggest also looking into the Ignatius Catholic Study Bible. Hardcover for 2 notes, written by conservatives for once. It's worth money. You get a lot of book. A lot of book. W Streamlabs, Stream tabs open, but I have to work. Why do you use the Hebrew? Because that's what it's written in. That's what the original text was written in. It wasn't written in English. What do you mean? That's how you what do you mean? Okay. Next. What should I use? Latin? Miter is definitely used today by lots. Right. Yeah. Because we speak English. Yeah. But the original text didn't say miter. It said, what was that word I just said? Tesfapeth, mestethpeth, something like that. My oldest Bible, Prot 1, is 1897. I don't know what that means. That's not what Jesus and the disciples used. Well, Jesus and the disciples didn't have a Bible. They in the synagogues they would have been reading Hebrew. They would have been speaking Aramaic, and Jesus and the disciples wouldn't probably have been able to read either of them. Jesus just knew the scripture. Even in Luke, when he opens the scroll and goes to Isaiah, what is it, Isaiah 53? And it says, Luke says that he read, but Matthew and Mark don't say that he read. It doesn't even make sense because he speaks, and they would have been speaking in Aramaic. So Jesus wasn't actually reading it. He just knew it. Jesus and the disciples, the Septuagint, used the Septuagint, which was Greek. Jesus and the disciples used the Septuagint, which was Greek. Right, but for the New Testament, I would go to the Greek. So that's why the Strong's has Greek and Hebrew. They have the Greek for the New Testament, and they have the Hebrew for the Old Testament, because it's showing you the original words. If you pull up an interlinear Bible and you go to if you go to Exodus 29, where is it? I'll show you. So now I gotta find that word. Exodus 29. What was I? Oh, I was looking up something different. Now I gotta find the word meter in here. Miter. I'm saying it wrong. I knew I was saying it wrong. Girdle, forehead, right here. Okay, so let's go 2837 interlinear. 2837 interlinear. All right. Okay, so Hamas not pit. So 4701. So you see, when you pull up the interlinear, so this is the word This is the verse. Notice how it's not giving us Greek. It's giving us Hebrew because the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. So then when you pick the word, misnapet, hamnisnapet, of a turban, shall be of the turban or of a mitre. So this is, and if you scroll 28:37, 29:6, 39:28, 39:31, and then 3 times in Leviticus, 1 time in Ezekiel. Notice how there's no Greek. Hebrew, 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 because the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. The only people who were able to read Hebrew in Jesus's time were the highest ups in the synagogues, and they threw Jesus out of the synagogue. So it's pretty safe to assume, I mean, he's God, so he could just do whatever he wants. I'm sure he could read Hebrew if he wanted to, but I like to look into the history of the Septuagint. I know the history of the Septuagint, but I'm not sure why. I don't know why that's relevant, but anyway, was Jesus white? I think he was white as the driven snow. No, I don't know. I think he probably looked like a Mediterranean skin tone. And if you look at, so check this out. I did this on a stream before once. So skin tones of Turkey. Just like Mediterranean, let's say Mediterranean people. Check this out. So this is funny. What skin tone was Jesus? He probably looked like people in the Mediterranean region. What skin tone are they? Take a look at this. All the skin tones. They literally got all the different skin tones. So he could be any of these. They even got a ginger. Jesus could be any one of these. It's funny, but I actually think it's a dumb question that usually, I know you're probably just joking, Chris, but some people take that super seriously and they're like, the white Jesus. You know, like Hebrew Israelites, they'd be like, why are you teaching us this white Jesus? Like, shut up, dude. He probably looked like people in that area looked. Well, what did people in that area look like? Every color. They got all the colors. It's a very temperate zone. You obviously don't know the history. Okay, well then don't watch the stream then. I know you know everything, Sweater. You're the arbiter of everything biblical. I should go ask somebody else to teach me instead of doing my own research. Right. Whatever you say, bud. Okay, let's get back to this. Chapter 29. Where was I at? I was already past chapter 29. What time is it? Oh my goodness, it's 12:19. We got to hurry up. We killed the bullock. Covered the. Also, why does it matter what the disciples were reading from if they were reading from something that was a translation from we go to the original text? What are you talking about? What are you even talking about? Holy cow. This is the big head that like y'all get a big head cuz somebody told you something. Do your own research, dude. The original text is in Hebrew. That's why I go to the Hebrew. Duh. Okay. And thou shalt take the blood, blah, 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 flesh of the bullock. Where were we? Thou shalt cut the ram in pieces. We saw that. Thou shalt take the brother ram. Did we do this? Thou shalt burn the whole ram, yeah. And thou shalt take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. Then thou shalt kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron. Well, yeah, we talked about that last. Okay, because that goes to Exodus 21. And thou shalt take of the blood that is upon the altar, and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron. Dang, this is a big chapter. And upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him, and he shall be hallowed, and his garment and his sons' garments with him. Also thou shalt take of the ram the fat, and the rump, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and the right shoulder, for it is a ram of consecration. And 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of oil bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of the unleavened bread that is before the Lord. And thou shalt put all in the hands of Aaron, and in the hands of his sons, and shalt wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. And thou shalt receive them of their hands, and burn them upon the altar for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor before the Lord. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And thou shalt take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration, and wave it for a wave offering before the Lord, and it shall be thy part. And thou shalt sanctify the breast of the wave offering, and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron's and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Israel, for it is an heave offering, and it shall be an heave offering from the children of Israel of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto the Lord. And the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, to be anointed therein, and to be consecrated in them. And that son that is priest in his stead shall put them on 7 days when he cometh into the tabernacle of the congregation to minister in the holy place. And thou shalt take the ram of the consecration, and seethe his flesh in the holy place. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram, and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And they shall eat those things wherewith the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them. But a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. And if aught of the flesh of the consecrations, or of the bread remain unto the morning, then thou shalt burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. And thus God doesn't like leftovers. And thus shalt thou do unto Aaron. I love leftovers. And thus shalt thou do unto Aaron and to his sons according to all things which I have commanded thee. 7 days shalt thou consecrate them. And thou shalt offer every day a bullock for a sin offering, for atonement. And thou shalt cleanse the altar when thou hast made an atonement for it, and thou shalt anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days thou shalt make an atonement for the altar and sanctify it, and it shall be an altar most holy. Whatsoever toucheth the altar shall be holy. Now this is that which thou shalt offer upon the altar: 2 lambs of the first year day by day continually. The 1 lamb thou shalt offer in the morning, and the other lamb thou shalt offer at even. And with the 1 lamb, a 10th deal of flour be mingled with the 4th part of an hin of beaten oil, and the 4th part of an hin of wine for a drink offering. And the other lamb thou shalt offer at even, and shalt do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof for a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. This shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, where I will meet you to speak there unto thee. And there I will meet with the children of Israel, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar. I will sanctify also both Aaron and his sons to minister to me in the priest's office. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and will be their God. And they shall know that I am the Lord their God, that brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, that I may dwell among them. I am the Lord their God. How long is chapter 30? What happened to my chat? Chapter 30 is not that long. Hold on, my chat just disappeared. Sweater, this isn't a debate stream. Stop spurging in my chat. If you don't like it, if you don't like hearing the Bible being read, then go somewhere else. I'm not even going to read what you're saying. You're just spurging out. Cut it out. It's annoying. Chapter 30. We're going to do chapter 30 and we're going to stop at 31. All right. And thou shalt make an altar to burn incense upon. Of shittim wood shalt thou make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof. 4 square shall it be, and 2 cubits shall be the height thereof. The horns thereof shall be of the same. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, the top thereof and the sides thereof round about, and the horns thereof, and thou shalt make unto it a crown of gold round about. And 2 golden rings shalt thou make to it under the crown of it, by the 2 corners thereof. Upon the 2 sides of it shalt thou make it. And they shall be for places for the staves to bear it withal. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with thee. And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning. When he dresseth the lambs, he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron lighteth the lamps at even, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall offer no strange incense thereon, nor burnt sacrifice, nor meat offering, neither shall ye pour drink offerings thereon. I'm being rude. You obviously don't know the history. The disciples and the Israelites of the time were using the Septuagint. You obviously don't know the history. You're like trying to debate. You're like trying to correct me and stuff. Why are you using Hebrew? Because that's what it was written in. It's simple. It's a simple thing. If you think I'm being rude, then sure. Then I'm being rude. Whatever. God. Holy cow. Dude. Anyway. And anyway, never mind. I'm not even going to address this. Well, I already did, but see, you're derailing. You're derailing. Now I'm like, this is dumb. I want to get through chapter 30. Where was I? I need to go to bed. I'm tired. I'm tired. All my life, I've been tired. I need to get this picture off my screen. I'm looking at a bunch of people of different skin tones. Oh man. Okay. And Aaron shall burn. Where was I? Offer no strange incense. I think we're on verse 10. And Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonements. Once in the year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, When thou takest the sum of their children of Israel after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul unto the Lord. When thou numberest them, that there be no plague among them when thou numberest them. The number, the census, this they shall give every one that passeth among them that are numbered, half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary. A shekel is 20 gerahs, Gerahs, gerahs. A half shekel shall be the offering of the Lord. Every one that passeth among them that are numbered, from 20 years old and above, shall give an offering unto the Lord. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less. Flat tax rate than half a shekel, when they give an offering unto the Lord to make an atonement for your souls. Robert's back. And thou shalt take the atonement money of the children of Israel, and shalt appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, that it may be a memorial unto the children of Israel before the Lord, to make an atonement for your souls. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Thou shalt also make a laver of brass, and his foot also of brass to wash withal. And thou shalt put it between the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, and thou shalt put water therein. For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and their feet thereat. When they go into the tabernacle of the congregation, they shall wash with water, that they die not. Or when they come near to the altar to minister, to burn offering by fire unto the Lord. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they die not. And it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and to his seed throughout their generations. Moreover, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take thou also unto thee principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon, half so much, even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus, 250 shekels, and of cassia, 500 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of oil olive, anhin, 5. Where's the 5 at? It says, oh, that's a S. That's a S, not a 5. Oh, it's just referencing me to another chapter. And thou shalt make it an oil of holy anointment, and an ointment compound after the art of the apothecary or perfumer. It says apothecary, and there's a note, and it says or perfumer. It shall be an holy anointing oil, and thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation therewith, and the ark of the testimony, and the table, and all his vessels, and the candlestick, and his vessels, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering with all his vessels, and the laver and his foot. And thou shalt sanctify them, that they may be most holy. Whatsoever toucheth them shall be holy. And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons, and consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, This shall be an holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations. Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it. After the composition of it, it is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. Whosoever compoundeth any like it, or whosoever putteth any of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take unto thee sweet spices, stacked in onycha and galbanum, these sweet spices with pure frankincense, of each shall there be a like weight. And thou shalt make it a perfume, a confection, after the art of the apothecary, tempered together, pure and holy. And thou shalt beat some of it very small, and put it before the testimony in the tabernacle of the congregation, where I will meet with thee. It shall be unto you most holy. And as for the perfume which thou shalt make, ye shall not make to yourselves according to the composition thereof. It shall be unto thee holy for the Lord. Whoever shall make like unto that, to smell thereto, shall even be cut off from his people. And we're at chapter 31, which means the golden calf is coming up. I know some people are ready for the are ready for the golden calf. Moses is gonna make them melt the golden calf down. He's gonna make them drink gold water. That's a lot of shekels. They got some shekels. Ah. Ugh. Okay. So that was a trudge. Basically, we're just learning about the priest robes, the tabernacle, and the ark today. Tomorrow, though, is Golden Calf Day, or not tomorrow, Tuesday. I'll be back Tuesday. We're not going to do one of these. We'll be back on Tuesday. I thought we were going to get through Exodus this week, but these are big chapters. So there's only 40 chapters, but they're big chapters, and I got my hair cut, so I missed a day. But we will get through Exodus next week. And then we get into Leviticus. Leviticus. Hold on one second. So dumb. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. What is your coffee mug? I just man. It's Leonardo. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Yeah. Yeah. Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle. Yeah, I kind of want to like go back and address some of this, but because oh my goodness, but I'm not gonna. I'm above it. I'm above it. It's not even worth it. There's no point. There's no point. I'm gonna go. I gotta get some sleep. I gotta get to bed. Tonight, Verbal Combat. Verbal Combat. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. It'd be nice to get a belt that I can actually keep for more than 8 hours. Or yeah. A belt that I can keep for more than 12 hours. That would be nice. Get a full week with the belt. That would be nice. But then afterwards, we'll do a panel and I'm going to play some Mario and I got to start actually maybe we're going to play Mario tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a Saturday we're going to have fight night, but it's there's no pay-per-view. It's just a regular fight night for UFC. And the early card starts pretty early. I think the early card starts at like 4 p.m. So I probably will just start streaming when the main card starts. And the heck? So we'll stream during the main card on Saturday on fight night. And then I'll play some Mario afterwards, but tonight after VK while we're doing the panel, I got to start collecting stuff for a couple different debates and start writing some of it up. But yeah. A lot of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. So let's see if there's somebody I can send you to. Oh man. Who's live right now? Who is this person? I don't even know who I'm subscribed to. Who is Gutters Pub? Does anybody know what that channel is and why I'm subscribed to it? Maybe I just subscribed because they do panels, but I don't know who that is. Like, I don't know. Oh, this guy's a dork. I'm not going to hate raid somebody. I don't know. Go watch some Newsmax. I'm not going to raid people that don't like me. You doing VK tonight? Yeah. I'm not going to raid people that I'm subscribed to that I don't really like, but I just subscribe to them because they do panels. And I'm not going to send you guys to a raid of people who don't like me. I like them, but they don't like me. So I'm not going to send you to certain places where I like the person, but they don't like me. So we're just going to send you to Newsmax. Watch some Newsmax. AC's not streaming. If Chris or James or somebody was, then I would send you there. Yeah, Amanda. Amanda, you just mentioned the the two categories I was talking about. those are both the two categories I was just talking about. People who I don't really like, but I'm subscribed to them because they have panels, and people who I like, but they don't like me. Those are yeah. You got it, Amanda. Good guess. We're gonna watch Newsmax. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you later. I would send you to Jim Bob, but he doesn't like me. He doesn't. Well, I don't even think he knows who I am, but I'm sure that there's a lot of people that like to say some mess. Yeah, I'll be on VK tonight. Because when I go to his chat and I say, "Hey Jim Bob, I watched your debate. It was really good. Good job." Sweater's in the chat saying, "Why don't you get up there and debate him about free will, JS? Ha 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 ha." So I don't know. If they don't like you, we'll go over there and fight them. That wouldn't be a good idea. No. No. It's it's an ortho bro thing, you know. I don't really care. It's a mess. It's a mess. Go watch Newsmax. I'll see you guys later. I'm out. I'm tired. I can't even think right now. Deuces.